This picture stands out in my mind because I look at this and then I look at that right there. You guys are looking at carnage and destruction at its finest and at its worst, however you want to say it. But in this story that is affected is this beautiful baby right here that y'all see on my screen. And one would have to ask, what can a baby so small, so innocent, so beautiful do to cause its own biological mother to cause its death in one of the most horrific ways possible? We're going to dive into this story. Yes, that is part of the wreckage right there. And yes, this story did come out of Atlanta. And the Atlanta mother who is responsible for this has been charged with a felony murder for allegedly causing the death of her 3-month-old daughter by intentionally crashing her car into the car of her daughter's father. Let's unpack this for a moment. That's the biological father. That's the baby below. That's a beautiful, beautiful baby girl. Okay? They said allegedly. I'm telling you guys, per witness statement, this woman intentionally rammed her car into her own kid's father's car with the baby in the car. Why? Why is one of the most important questions you can ask, and why you have to ask all throughout this story. Because I got this story when it first happened, but it took me a little time. You know, guys, I kind of have a little bit of a busy life, so I apologize I wasn't able to jump on this and speak about it right away. Now, this incident took place around 7 p.m. on Monday on Chapel Road near Eason Street in Northwest Atlanta. According to the police, hashtag not my words, a preliminary investigation has revealed that Khy'undra or Andre, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Undra, Andre Henderson, 27 years old, had placed his daughter, Khy'undra Henderson, who seems like she's like a newborn baby. I'm not sure how old the baby was, but she's a very, very young, very small baby. The dad placed his daughter inside of his Honda sedan, which y'all saw was the car that was crushed up, and was driving away when the baby's mom, this chick who looks like, I don't know, like she looks like a troll doll with the hair shaved off of it. She looks like a, I don't know, like a firecracker on the 4th of July. She looks like so many things I could crack so many jokes about. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it looks like somebody dipped her head in some red Kool-Aid. She looks absolutely ridiculous. Okay? That woman or this creature's name is Tatiana Phillips, but it's spelled Titayanna. Titiana or Tatiana, who cares how you properly pronounce it? She's a horrible person, but she's 21 years of age as well. And in most people's eyes, they might say, well, she's 21 years old. She's young. No. We have a saying here, which I hate when people use these colloquialisms when it's convenient. We have a thing where we say, I'm grown. I's grown. I's can do what I's wants to do. Right? So she's grown and she's way past grown. Once you cross that threshold of being grown, you got to be held responsible for the law to the fullest extent. That's my opinion, okay? This woman raced after them. Why? God knows. God knows why she'd do this. But the woman allegedly used her... Let's just stop saying allegedly. This is what she did, okay? I'm going to step out on a limb. I don't think this bride got enough money to sue me, so I hope y'all can understand where I'm coming from. This woman used her black SUV to ram Henderson's sedan multiple times. Not once, not twice, but according to people that saw it and heard it, they said about 3 times she hit the car, backed up, and continued to hit the car. Which, if you ask me, a murder charge should be the appropriate charge here. Why? Because that would also prove intent. Maybe you can dispute that and maybe say manslaughter if she hit the car once, maybe it were an accident. But the fact that she backed up and had what we call the presence in mind to back up and do it again and then back up and do it again, that's intent. That is pure intent. Hopefully everybody understands where I'm coming from. Because too many people have come out, they're too quick to come out and try to defend people like this. Let me give a quick shout out to NMD, said, thank you for always thinking of the children. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Like I said, this is what we've been standing for a long time. Let me also welcome in our new channel member, Yadi Defoe. So I want to say thank you, as well as a few other people who joined the channel membership. Thank you for really understanding what we represent here, okay? Welcome, guys. Welcome. And if y'all are listening, make sure you click that thumbs up. It'll help share our stream and let more people know that we're live, because we got a lot to talk about, okay? Now, when the police arrived on the scene, they found the baby. Again, the baby's name is Khy'undra or Khy'undra. The mother's name is T-I-T-A, like Tita, T-I-T-A, and then Yana, Y-A-N-N-A. Phillips is the last name. The baby's name is Khy'undra, which is K-H-Y apostrophe U-N-D-R-A. And I want to put some respect on this baby's name. It is a little bit of a difficult name to pronounce. It's not a traditional name. It's more or less a hood name, but I do not want to disrespect the memory of this beautiful baby girl, okay? So I want to be very mindful about what I say, okay? When they arrived on the scene, they found the baby and her father injured inside this mangled car. So I want you guys to make sure to take a look at these pictures of that car. Matter of fact, if you can't see it, I think I could blow these pictures up for you. Give me a moment. I want to make sure that you guys understand how bad this was. I'm going to cover the screen up for a moment. Please take a look at this picture. I want you guys to understand how bad this wreck is. How bad this incident is. This is so bad that I want you guys to remember. Y'all remember the story that I did about the mother who was racing and ran into a pole and split a car in half at 121 miles an hour? This is about what that car looked like. Just like this. Everybody can see this, right? That's about how bad this car looks like. That's how many times this woman ran full speed into this car. Keep in mind, the baby that she chose to get pregnant with, the baby that she carried in her womb for 9 months, the baby that she laid in a hospital and went through labor and gave birth to, the baby that she gave the name Khy'undra to, is the same baby that she did that to. Please help me understand, guys. Why would people be more mad at me and my words and my opinion as opposed to what this mother did to this baby? And a lot of people's rationale, what they'll say is they'll say, well, you shouldn't be dissing us black women. They's queens and we needs to uphold them and uplift them. Well, you know what? For all those pro-blacks who really, really believe that black women need to be upheld and uplifted, well, guess what? I'm going to have a change of tune. I'm going to have a change of heart. I'm going to agree with you. But do you know why I'm going to agree with you? Because I believe that that baby deserves that same right to be upheld and held on a pedestal. Do you know why? Because guess what that baby would have grown up into becoming if this baby were to be allowed to live? That baby would have grown up to be a black woman. So why would people have a problem with me advocating for a black woman that would have been? Why can't we get mad about these black women who are taken out when they're babies? Why don't babies' lives matter? Why don't children's lives matter? If we care so much about our women, why can't we care about them from the moment they're born? That's all I'm asking. I think I'm asking rational, reasonable questions. But let's move on. The critically injured infant was rushed to the hospital, and the baby, of course, if you look at this, the baby did not live. The baby died, of course, needless to say. Her father remains in the hospital in stable condition. Now, how he lived, like it's like the whole roof. Let me back this picture up. Look at this. The entire roof is gone. Like this car looks like it got ran over by a Mack truck. Does it not? This car looks like it got ran over by an 18-wheeler. And I'm not even being facetious. And that's the only damage to that SUV. That SUV must have been made of like goddamn vibranium or something. Sheesh. You look at this damage. It only had a little bit of damage in the front end that she was able to back up and go forward, back up and go forward, back up and go forward. And that's all the damage that it did. But that car looked like a meteor hit that car. Huh? Henderson commented on Facebook about this crash. Because you can't just let a dumbass just go to jail over what they did and not say nothing. Of course, they always got something to say. She got on Facebook early Tuesday morning and wrote, "I'm blessed to be alive, but without Khy'undra, this shit don't even matter." And they spell I'm, U-M. U-M. I'm blessed to be alive, but without Khy'undra. I'm going to point out what that actually means. The fact that she said, I'm blessed to be alive, means that you don't give a shit about your daughter being dead. Selfish. Absolutely selfish. The only person on earth that she cares about is herself. And that's a damn shame. An investigation revealed that Henderson, the mother, who was driving in a car, Henderson, who was the, oh, wait a minute. Wait. Henderson. Okay, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. That was the dad. So let me retract that. I'm sorry. Henderson is the dad. Maybe I should have put his name in there. That would have helped me remember. The dad wrote, I'm blessed to be alive, but without Khy'undra. So maybe that makes a little more sense. So I'll retract that and I apologize about that. I got that wrong. But let's keep going forward. An investigation revealed that the dad, Henderson, who was driving in a car with his daughter, who was stopped at an intersection in Northwest Atlanta at about 7 p.m. when the mother, Phillips, deliberately struck Henderson's vehicle, pushing it, and she hit him so hard that she pushed it across the street, according to a police report. Investigators believe the mother struck the vehicle more than one time and believe the collision was intentional, based on the information that they gathered, and I'm telling you that's also per a witness statement. Now, a neighbor who saw the crash said other witnesses then rushed to the car to rescue Henderson and his daughter, who were trapped inside the vehicle. We were in the house when we heard a boom, said neighbor Tarangela Jones told the news station. We saw the car, and the car was turned sideways up against a tree. And she was ramming her car into the side of the car. Ramming, plural, multiple times. That's according to Tarangela Jones. So that is a credible witness. The baby infant, who was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, later died of her injuries. He and his daughter are from Decatur, according to news reports. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about this story. Because if you just look at it for what it is, that's a sad story. It's a messed up story. But there's a little bit more to talk about here. There's a little bit more to talk about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you guys a little more information about the mom, if that's okay. Are you guys okay? Because we're live right now. Are you guys okay if I tell you more information about the mom? All right. Yes, tarantula. It is. Tarantula. It is what it is. All right, here we go. According to police records, hashtag, not according to DJ Just J, but according to the police and court records. Police records show officers have been in contact with these parents twice within the last 30 days. In June of this year, Phillips, the biological mother, was charged with disorderly conduct after a dispute between the two parents. This chick is violent. On July the 24th, she was accused of, and I want y'all to understand, this was just 6 days ago. On July 24th, she was accused of taking the child from a health clinic, even though she does not have legal custody. Boy, her hair looks crazy. Like, it looks like somebody launched like a, I don't know. Like if somebody had some what do you call those things? Like if you had like some rockets or whatever, or some firecrackers, like somebody threw like a Kool-Aid firecracker at her head. She just looks crazy. This mother does not have custody of the kid. In America, and people in the AFC ought to understand this, if a mother loses custody to the father in America in 2020, or even in the past 10 to 20 years, then you know what that means? That means that the mother was such a bad candidate. This mother was such a horrible candidate to be a parent and a custodial parent, or to even have visitation rights to this kid, that the family courts decided that she should not have any custody. And we live in a country where fathers actually have to fight to get custody. They have to go above and beyond to get custody in this country of their kids. And they also have to prove that the mom is bad, a bad and horrible person, just usually to get joint custody, let alone full custody. That's how bad of a parent, and that's how bad of a human being this woman is. She is accused of taking the child from a health clinic, even though she does not have legal custody of the baby girl. The clinic staff told police that she took the baby out of the exam room and ran out to a car that was waiting for them. And it makes me wonder, was somebody else involved in that? Unless she just left the car running and then hopped back in. The responding officer wrote in a police report that the mother, Phillips, has an open case with the Department of Family and Children Services, DFCS. How about that? How many of you guys are surprised by that? She has somebody with red hair, with crazy eyes, and no neck. Can somebody put hashtag necklace in the chat? Necklace, NECK-less. This woman has no neck and red hair. People who have no neck, I just think that they're horrible people. But that's just my opinion. Might not be a good opinion, but it's my opinion. She has an open case with DFCS regarding the safety and referenced mental and physical health issues that remain unresolved. Now, the mother, Phillips, brought her baby girl back to the clinic unharmed after conversations with the officer. According to the report, The officer said Phillips talked about hurting herself, so she volunteered to go to Grady Hospital, I guess to get herself checked out. Now, somebody in the chat asked, why was she not arrested for doing that? Well, again, I'm going to remind you guys, in America, we really truly don't believe in equality. That's actually a real question. That's actually a real thing. We talk about equality in America, but when it comes to the dynamic of male and female, we don't treat everybody the same. Even though we ask for it, I don't think people want it, but they damn sure don't act equally. If a man would have did this, a man probably would have been beat up and thrown in jail for 25 years. But a woman does it, you just convince her to bring the baby back when she's already proven to be a danger to that child. And now look what you have. She was on the loose because she should have been in jail. She should have been locked up. She's a danger to society. She's a danger to her baby. They let her stay out, and look at what happened. Oh, just bring the baby back. Yeah, that was a great solution. Now the baby's still dead. How about that? The mother, Phillips, who was taken into custody on the scene, so she didn't leave the scene. She was there on the scene and was taken into custody and was taken to the same hospital in stable condition. She was booked Tuesday into Fulton County Jail, where she remains held without bond. I would be so offended if they gave her a bond, but they did not. So that's good. Now, homicide investigators are handling the ongoing investigation, and we're not aware of any GoFundMes that are set up for the baby, who is Khy'undra Henderson, on the memorial just yet. The car looks like the car where the mother crashed at 121 miles an hour. If y'all remember that story, if you didn't see it, go back in my videos and look at it. That's exactly what that car looks like. And I want people to stop coming to my comment section, stop emailing me about how I describe these stories, talk about I hate my people, I hate my race, I must hate my mama, and all of this bull crap. Stop talking about that type of stuff. Stop making excuses for crime. Can somebody type that in the chat, please? Maybe one or two of you guys might like to do that. I need y'all to type this in the chat. Stop making excuses for crime. Stop making excuses for criminals. If you want this world to get better, if you want all the bad shit to stop happening, stop making excuses for crime. Because in my opinion, the law is the law, and you need to follow the law straight up and down. I'm going to take a pause real quick. Let me give a shout out real quick to Sean M. Martin. I want to thank you for that. Said I'll catch the video later, but I want to try to support you whenever you're on. Thank you for keeping us informed and speaking for these babies. Hashtag, if you see something, say something. I love that. Thank you, Sean. And also thank you to Real Knight. Says she looks like a clown. She actually does. Put a red nose on her and she literally would look like a damn clown. I agree. Thank you so much. And she has no neck. Let's not forget that. So here's what I want to do before we show you guys the news videos. I want to do something real quick with you guys. Here's what I want to ask y'all. How many of you guys, and I want everybody to take a vote on this so everybody has a say so. So for the people who are watching, we have 412 people. We need you guys to continue to click that thumbs up. We should easily be over 200 thumbs up. It only takes 4 people to click that thumbs up. I'd like to welcome Monique Allen. Thank you, and welcome to the AFC. Thank you for supporting our babies, and thank you so much for supporting our message, which is advocating for our babies first. Thank you so much for that. Here's what I want to do. I want to take a vote on something. I got a couple of questions to ask you guys. Question number 1. How many of you guys believe that the biological father did something wrong to this mother to cause this to happen? That's option number 1. Option number 2, how many of you guys believe that the baby was the one who made this mother mad? And the baby made the mom mad and caused this to happen. Option number 3, how many people are going to blame this on mental health? Just going to dismiss this whole thing and just say, oh yeah, it's mental health. That's why she did it. Option number 4, how many of you guys are going to blame this on postpartum depression? Oh, I'm going to give you a lot of options. Option number 5, which is my favorite personally. How many people who are listening to the sound of my voice and watching this video, whether now or later on the replay, how many people are going to simply hold this criminal accountable for killing her own baby? Let's talk about these again. Option number 1, how many people believe that the dad did something wrong? Option number 2, how many people believe that the baby must have pissed the mom off to cause this? Option number 3, how many people are going to blame this on mental health? Option number 4, how many people are going to blame this on, well, this is just another case of postpartum depression? Option number 5, how many people are going to just simply be like me and hold this criminal accountable for killing her own baby? If you ask me, that one's my choice. I think we need to hold more people accountable for the shit that they do to kids. Because if this were a man who did this, there is going to be no excuse for it. And we have to cut excuses in order to cut things like this from happening. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage and let you listen to the news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, here we go.
And we have new developments in a horrific crash that killed an infant and injured her father. Now the mother, 21-year-old Tatiana Phillips, is charged with aggravated assault and felony murder after police say she rammed her car into the father's vehicle. Nick Sturdivant is at the Fulton County Jail with the latest.
Atlanta police releasing more information on this terrible situation. We now know that baby was 3 months old. Her name was Khy'undra Henderson. Her father is Andra Henderson, recovering in the hospital. Atlanta police say Henderson had put baby Khy'undra in his car and was leaving when the child's mother, Tatiana Phillips, struck his car with hers. Police say this happened at Chapel Road near Easton Street in northwest Atlanta around 7 o'clock last night. Both the father and child were rushed to the hospital, but sadly, Khy'undra died. Earlier, I spoke with a man who called 911. He told me he saw the crash. He said that Phillips didn't even attempt to stop, ramming her car into Henderson's. The man told me he and others tried to pry Henderson's car open, but couldn't. And that's when they noticed that he was bleeding and that baby Khy'undra was knocked out of her car seat onto the car floor. And we did learn from APD this morning that there were 2 prior incidents involving Phillips and Henderson back in June and July. We'll have those details at 5 and 6.
All right, let me take a pause real quick. We got a couple more of those news videos to show you guys. Let me see. Let me give a shout out real quick to Nathia Sexy Rican. Okay, I like that name. Sent in a $10 super chat and took on the $10 challenge. So I hope I pronounced your name right. I want to put some respect on your name. I know Sexy Rican is the last name. So Sexy Rican, if you're listening, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Let me also give a shout out to my sister Keyshawn Johnson in the chat in the PayPal. Let me give a shout out real quick to Jaja Rose. I remembered. Thank you, Jaja Rose. And Katrina Ramirez, if you're listening, said always for the babies. lives with a heart emoji. Thank you for your Cash App if you're listening. To No Brand said, keep up the good work. Thank you for your Cash App. Also, thank you to Mace Windu. Says some people should not be allowed to have children. And I 100% agree. I need to give a big shout out real quick. Let me make sure I can say, for you, Jay, and the babies, that is Miss Nisi. And Miss Nisi, I gotta say, when you donate like that, I'm gonna just say you knocked it out the park. I'm never gonna read your amount. I'm gonna always make sure and just respect your privacy. But Miss Nisi, if you're listening, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all. Guys, let's keep this thing going. Let's keep going. Was the baby strapped in? I believe the baby was, but here's the problem though. So Addie, that's actually a great question, and I would love to know that. But even if the baby was strapped in, imagine how much impact, because you got to look at that car. That mother hit that car so hard that it ripped the car to shreds. It ripped the car to shreds. Like, I don't think any car seat was going to save that baby's life at all. Anything, the glass could have killed the baby. The impact could have killed the baby. The seat smashing up against the car could have killed the baby. The airbags could have killed the baby. Just from the vehicle impact alone from the mob, just any of that could have killed that kid. The entire roof of the vehicle was ripped off. It's a good question, but I just don't think anything was going to save that baby at all.
Chesley, thank you. Turning now to developments in a horrific crash. A baby is dead and a father injured after police say the child's mother rammed her car into them. Nick Sturtevant is live outside the Fulton County Jail.
I just don't think anything would have saved that baby's life. They didn't say the baby was ejected. They said that they found the baby like in the floor of the car. So just really anything could have happened. I hate to describe it though. It's possible, yeah, because the baby is so small. Right, thank you, Addie. The baby is so small that it could have broken all the bones in that baby's body. The baby could have slipped through the car seat. It could have ripped the car seat apart. Just, oof, I just hate to think about it. I hate to think about it.
Chesley, thank you.
Nothing was going to save her. Thank you, Kizzy. Thank you, Kizzy. I don't think anything would have saved that baby.
In a horrific crash, a baby is dead and a father injured after police say the child's mother rammed her car into them. Nick Sturtevant is live outside the Fulton County Jail. Nick, what is the latest in this case?
Good morning, Francesca. As you mentioned,
I'm going to let you guys listen to these news stories. If y'all would, please click that thumbs up. Our goal is 300 thumbs up, and we're really close to being there. And I'd like to thank everybody who's already clicked that thumbs up. We only need 75 more people to click that thumbs up. So I'm thankful to everybody that's already done so. And don't forget, we still have a part 2 in our stories tonight. Thank you, Laura Kennedy said thank you. Laura, I got to thank you. Thank you for taking on the $10 challenge and showing your support for the AFC. How do you join the AFC? If you click the subscribe button, there should be a join button there. If you do not see that join button there, then look down in the chat where you can click and donate in the super chat. If you click that super chat, the little $ icon, it should also give you an option to join the AFC, to join our channel. So that should help you out a little bit. I believe the roof got cut off to get to the people inside. They did have to get to them inside. Yes, MMO Family Girl Sweetheart, you are right about that. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure because pieces of that car were all over the place by the time the police even got there. But you could be very right about that. So I definitely want to keep that in mind with what you said. So thank you. Let me give a shout out Melissa Cardwell for joining the premiere, which is our top perk when you join the AFC. Melissa Cardwell, welcome and thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. Show some love to Melissa Cardwell. Welcome her to the AFC.
This is a really horrific story. Police are still working to figure out the circumstances around this situation. They haven't said a motive or if this could have been an accident. The cell phone
was not an accident. This was not an accident.
Video and the video of officers on scene paint the picture of a tragic story. Atlanta police tell us a father had put his child in his car and was leaving when the child's mother struck his car with hers. Police say this happened at Chapel Road near Easton Street in Northwest Atlanta around 7 o'clock last night. Both the father and child were rushed to the hospital, but sadly, the child died. This video was taken moments after the crash. A man who called 911 said neighbors tried to help the father and child until police got there. Now investigators are working to get to the bottom of this awful situation.
And Francesca, still a lot of questions, and we're still working to figure out if that mother will face charges.
That is a tragic story, Nick. Thank you. The mother accused of intentionally crashing into a car, killing her baby girl, is now charged with murder. Atlanta police say Tatiana Phillips also injured the 3-month-old's father. The crash happened near Chapel Road and Easton Street Monday night in Northwest Atlanta.
I don't want to skip that. I want to give a shout out real quick to Kimberly Dixon. I'm not sure if you are a channel member or not, but for that kind of a donation, if you guys send in that amount, if you are not a channel member or a moderator, then I can make you one for that amount. And I want to say, Kimberly Dixon, thank you so much. Said, love you, Jay, and the AFC family. I accept the challenge. And that is Kimberly Dixon. Thank you. Thank you so much for finding it not only in your heart, but in your budget as well. So thank you so much for that.
Police records show officers had been in contact with the parents twice in the last month. Phillips did not have custody of the child. Now to some other top stories we're following on this Wednesday morning.
A mom charged with murder in a crash that killed her baby girl. Police records show that there was an open defects investigation into the mom before this all happened. Today, Tracy A. McPeer talked to a witness and the director of defects about it.
I heard the boom and I came outside and I saw the car wrapped around the tree.
Robert Williams says he could hear the crash Monday night in Northwest Atlanta that killed 3-month-old Khy'undra Henderson and put her father, Undra Henderson, in the hospital.
I went over to the other side and I looked and they said something about a baby in the car and I looked for a baby seat.
Police say the child's mother, 21-year-old
MMO Family Girl said in the video the windshield was there, and in the still picture it's not, and a top on the ground. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so that might have been why because I kept thinking, I was like, how did she hit that car so hard that it took the top off the car? So that actually does make sense. So thank you, MMO Family Girl, for pointing that out.
Tatiana Phillips intentionally crashed into the father's car. She's now charged with aggravated assault and felony murder.
All right, so I guess that worked because I found an easier way to tell you guys if y'all want to join the channel membership. So if you click that $ emoji in the chat, it should also, even if you don't see the blue join button, you should see an option there once you click that money symbol, and then you can join the AFC and you can pick whichever perk that you want. And look at that. Nathia Sexy Rican joined the channel membership, as well as Crystal Kilchrist. And I want to welcome you guys. Thank y'all so much. I cannot thank you enough. And thank you for becoming a part of the movement. We are a family here. It's not a me thing. This is a we thing. And I thank you guys so much for being a part of what we are doing together. Thank you so much. Let's keep this family growing. Let's keep going.
Found 2 different recent police reports involving Phillips and Henderson. In June, Phillips was charged with disorderly conduct following a dispute with Henderson. And just 4 days ago, she was accused of taking Khy'undra from a health clinic. According to the report, police called her and asked her to bring the baby back, and she did. We now know there was also a case open with the Department of Family and Children's Services.
In June, we received a report on the family that there were these mental health concerns regarding the mother, and that's when we intervened and made sure that the father was the one taking care of the child.
Tom Rawlings is the director of DFACS. He says the case was still ongoing.
We were continuing to follow and continuing to work with both parents, certainly so that the mother would get mental health treatments. The father did have the child with him and probably was not able to foresee that the mother would really go into such a crisis that she would drive her car into his.
A memorial now marks the site of Monday's crash, a reminder of a tragedy on many different levels.
It's sad, and it just reminds me that we have so much work to do in the state to make sure that we are bolstering our families, that we are protecting our children.
I'm gonna tell you guys about this. I don't know if you guys noticed this if you're just listening to the video, but this is a rare thing when the Child Protective Services actually comes out and gives a statement and does an interview. This is very, very rare, and I'm very thankful that at least they're coming out and speaking and saying something and letting us know kind of what was going on with the dad and their situation. So I thank them for that. Just know that even if y'all don't realize it, this is very, very rare. So yeah, thank you.
At DFAX, the normal call volume is around 140,000.
Hashtag stop making excuses for crime. Thank you, Mookie Lolo, for reposting that. I love it.
Calls a year, half of which are from teachers and coaches. So since the pandemic, those calls have dropped dramatically. Rawlings says he hopes this tragic situation will serve as a reminder for all of us when we see a child in need to call them.
Hashtag see something, say something. I have two more people to thank and welcome to the AFC who were able to click that $sign and they found that you could join the channel membership. Let's welcome to the family Gantz Gallery as well as Giovanna E. And I want to welcome you and thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the AFC where we spend all of our time advocating for our babies first. They're our first priority. And thank you and welcome you guys. Welcome. Thank you, Crystal Kilchrist. Even took on the $10 challenge. Y'all see that? Thank you for that. Thank you, Crystal Kilchrist. #1 fan. I am absolutely honored to serve you guys. Let's keep going. Let's keep growing.
And bond was denied today in court for Phillips. We're not sure when that next court hearing is going to be. Her baby was killed in a crash here at this scene. Also, the dad was injured in this case. The mother now charged with felony murder after police say she rammed her car into the father's vehicle on purpose. Latasha Gibbons is following the very latest for us tonight.
Witnesses say the father and baby girl were trapped beneath this busted windshield and twisted metal during Monday night's crash. This is cell phone video from witnesses who say they tried to pry open the car doors before police arrived. The father, 27-year-old Andre Henderson, is in stable condition, police say, but 3-month-old Khy'undra died at the hospital.
At this point, it does appear that the vehicle was struck multiple times by the mother. And we do believe, based on information that we have, that this was an intentional incident.
Investigators say the person responsible for the fatal crash is the baby's own mother, 21-year-old Tatiana Phillips. They say she intentionally rammed into the car as the father was trying to leave with the baby. This happened near Chappell Road near Easton Street in Northwest Atlanta.
The accident caused the father's vehicle to collide with a telephone pole. The fire department responded to the scene and had to remove them from the vehicle.
Police say Phillips was also taken to the hospital and is facing felony murder and aggravated assault charges. Police records show officers had been in contact with the parents twice in the last month. In June, Phillips was charged with disorderly conduct following a dispute between the two, and just 4 days ago, she was accused of taking the child from a health clinic. This release report states Phillips currently has an open case with DFAX, as well as a list of mental and physical health issues that remain unresolved. The report also states she doesn't have legal custody of the baby girl. We stopped by Phillips' family home.
I'm going to point out something, and this might be real childish and real stupid of me. But did y'all notice why does she have to be behind the camera and she's outside and have her mask on? But when she went to knock on the door, this is the reporter I'm talking about, she doesn't have to have her mask on. Y'all see how confusing this mask on, mask off thing is? This Percocet, Molly Percocet. This thing is absolutely confusing. Y'all notice she has her mask on. I know this ain't got nothing to do with the story. But y'all know y'all look confused too. Come on now. Some of y'all look confused walking around. Y'all know what time it is. It's confusing when it's meant for, I don't know, whatever. But look, she got it on.
The report also states
she's outside.
She doesn't
behind the camera. Nobody around her.
Have legal custody of the baby girl.
And goes to knock on the door.
We stopped by Phillips' family.
And no mask on. I'm thoroughly confused. Maybe y'all didn't catch that. I am confused.
Home. Through a window, we were told they had no comment.
Okay, is there anything you...
So she's talking to somebody and there's less than 6 feet of distance between her and the door, and she don't have a mask on. Just never mind. Maybe I'm just stupid. If I were a box of crayons, maybe I'm like a navy blue or black in the box because I'm not very bright.
Wanted to say.
And that was Latasha Givens reporting there. We'll continue to follow that story throughout the evening.
I'm just saying, man. Oh, Lordy. Let's go ahead and close this thing out. Again, I'm going to address this to the people who believe that they are advocating for Black Lives and Black Lives Matter and all of that stuff. I get it, and I understand that people's intentions are pure. I do understand that. I'm not crazy. I do know that you people mean well. You want change. You want people to get better and to be treated right and all of that good stuff. But here's the thing. There cannot be this clear difference between how we treat men who do crimes to babies and women who do crimes to babies completely different. There cannot be this wide gap of splitting the Red Sea like Moses. The difference between how we treat just the fact that you have one sex and another sex, and that's the only difference. That cannot be a determining factor when it comes to judging somebody about a crime and sentencing them to prison, if not life in prison or sentencing them to death. It should be based on the heinous act that they committed. And I think that the law should be a lot more blind to whether it's a male or female. That's my personal opinion, but I think it's the best opinion to have. Start treating these crimes more fairly. You will get more people that will think before they do stuff like this. And if they do decide to do something this damn stupid, it will not embolden the next person to do it because they'll see, oh crap, they sentenced that woman to death for running into their baby daddy car, right? Because I's mad at him. I's don't have custody. That's my baby. She believes she owned that baby, and she believed in this mantra, I brought you in this world and I'll take you out of this world. That's a horrible thing to say. It's a selfish thing to say. And if you say stuff like that as a parent, as a human, as an adult, you are not a suitable parent. I'm going to just tell you. Stop saying stuff like that to your kids. Stop making people believe that that's the right course, the right mind frame to have. And again, I'm going to remind you guys, when we voted on those options, whether we should blame the dad, blame the baby, blame it on mental health or postpartum depression, the final choice and the final option is that I simply believe that we need to hold criminals accountable for the actions that they commit, especially the fact when you do it to children. If this happened in Texas, this would 100% fall under a law that we call super aggravated. I don't know if any other states have adopted that law, but I love it because when kids are under a certain age, the law treats these people who harm children way more harsh. And I like it because the law is meant to protect the kids. And we need to put more focus on the kids. While we're out advocating for these grown adults who've lived a lot of life already, who are 30 and 40 and 50 years old and something bad happens to them, I'm not saying that something bad should have happened to them. But what I'm saying is that there is too much focus on adults. Apparently, I need to say that really slow for some people. There is too much focus on adults in America when our focus should be the children. They're the ones that need us. They're the ones who cannot speak for themselves. They're the ones who cannot defend themselves against the tyranny of their mama with red Kool-Aid hair who decided to have a bad day and run into the side of a car multiple times, killing that baby. That baby needs an advocate. That baby needs a voice. That baby's story needs to be told, and nothing like this should have ever have happened for any stupid reason. There was nothing this father could have done to earn this. There is nothing this baby did to earn this. And no, this is not postpartum depression. And no, this is not mental health. Scratch those off of your list. This woman made a bad, horrible choice, and she needs to suffer for her choice. That's simple. If you make your bed, you will lay in it. even if that bed is your grave. And I believe that this woman deserves exactly what she gave her own child. She was never a suitable parent. And that's why also as men, brothers, we need to be a hell of a lot more responsible when we lay our seeds in soil. And we must lay our seeds in righteous soil. I'm going to start coming out with t-shirts that have that very thing on those t-shirts, which is on our site at shop.spreadshirt.com/DJ Fellas, must be more responsible and stop sleeping with these crazy chicks. We have to be more decisive and have more discernment about where we place our seeds. Because this brother, unfortunately, and I mean no disrespect to him or the family, Heller placed his seed in unrighteous soil, and this woman abused the privilege of being a mother. There are no women who can be parents if not for the seed of a man. Please respect that and understand that. I know a lot of ladies out there understand that, but there's too many that don't. Talking about, well, you wouldn't be in this, there would be no black men if not for black women. Well, there would be no humans if not for men. Men provide the seed to the soil. The soil germinates and grows. The seed is by far the starting point of all life. Please understand that and respect it. If both sides start to have more respect, if the men start having respect for the women and the women start having respect for the men, we really need to start coming to a point to where we start to come together as humans, as parents, and really start thinking more other than ourselves and start thinking about our babies. That concludes this story. To the father, brother, I hope you get well. To the baby, I'm going to say, to the baby, and I want to put some respect on her name, Khy'undra Henderson. Let me get the mom's face off the screen. I don't want to see the mom's face. Matter of fact, let me get the baby picture. I really like that baby picture of her. It's a beautiful baby picture. See if I can find it. Right here. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want to know why I do what I do, it's for that reason right there. That baby could have grown up to be anything, and this baby could have saved the world. This baby could have been an amazing person, and it's so sad that we would never know what Khy'undra Henderson, 3 months old, this princess could have been anything. And she deserved the opportunity to grow up and become something great. R.I.P. Young Princess. This is your boy DJ Just J. We're the AFC, where we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours, I love you guys, and we'll see y'all on the next story. And if you guys are listening, that next story starts right now. I told you guys it's going to be a 2-part stream. How many people are ready to hear our next story? Let's transition. Now, I got to set this up real quick because I had some issues with my thing a minute ago. Let me see if I can set this up real quick. I don't know if you guys heard about these twins, but we're going to talk about these beautiful twins. These beautiful babies. And this is a narrative that a lot of us are all too familiar with. What do we call it when mom decides to date shitty men and have shitty boyfriends in the house around their kids? Do y'all remember what we call that here in the AFC family? Huh? Y'all remember what we call that? Hashtag what? Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. That is an AFC hashtag. Please remember that if anybody uses that, just let them know, like, hey, that's an AFC hashtag. That is ours. We are a small channel. And we appreciate getting credit for when we come out with things that are really unique. But that's an AFC hashtag. So if you guys are ready for part 2 of the story, let's talk about this. We got 405 people watching. A couple of people dipped out. But don't forget, guys, we're talking about a separate story, okay? I'm going to try to adjust this a little bit. We're trying to adjust this on the fly. Let's see, how can I adjust that a little more? Pics. Let me go. There we go. Now I can see that a little bit better. All right, that should be a little bit more adjusted. I think we're going to call it good right there. So here we go. I need to switch to my other. See, Mob 21. Oh, I think I shouted out. Did I shout out everybody who donated already? I did not. One more came. Oh, sheesh. Whoa. Erica, are you in the chat? Erica, if you are in the chat, please type something in the chat and let me know. I want to make sure that you have your wrench so I can always see your name highlighted. I'm not going to tell you guys how much Erica sent in, but Erica M showed a great amount of love in the Cash App. I don't want to say thank you so much if you're listening to the sound of my voice. I just got it. I don't know if you want me to read that amount or not, but thank you so much for your donation. I cannot thank you enough, but I want to make sure that you hear me shout you out. I know you guys are about 30 seconds behind me. If she is in the chat, let me know. Or maybe she doesn't want to say anything. If you don't want to, it's okay too. But I definitely wanted to thank you. I did get your donation. I am honored that you were able to find that in your budget. And I really, really want to thank you so much, Erica. And I think this is her second time tonight donating. And I really, truly appreciate that. But donated plenty of times before now. So I am truly, truly honored. All right. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Right there. Boom. You absolutely have moderator status. And I thank you so much for your continued support. So there you go. I wanted to make sure. Yes, we have a new moderator now. That is Erica Martinez in the chat. Thank you so much for that. Here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and tell this story. Michigan has yet another story that has come out that is just, it's just so hard to think about what's going on in these people's heads who decide to abuse children. But there is a narrative that we have been following all year, all last year, and the year before that. And that narrative is hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Okay? I want to make sure that I'm very clear about what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that all thugs cannot be reformed or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that there are an inherent risk. There are inherent risks whenever you decide to date a person who does not operate in the confines of the law, who does stupid things or has a record, a track history of doing stupid things that are against the law. Hopefully everybody understands where I'm coming from. Especially, I didn't even notice that this fool has a tattoo in the middle of his head. Oh God, we're going to talk about that. But let me go ahead and tell you guys about this story. First and foremost, let's put some respect on these babies' names right now. What you're looking at, let me take that picture back for a moment. These babies' names are Zaire Reed and Zion Reed. Zaire Reed and Zion Reed are two twins, and they have both been injured as a result of some physical violence that has been inflicted upon them. Okay? Now, a 1-year-old boy is dead, which is one of the twins, and his twin brother is critically injured. So both of them could potentially be both of these kids could end up dead behind this. So one is dead and one is critically injured after they were beaten by their mother's boyfriend. How about that? There is a website. I don't know if you guys know about this, but there's a website called momsboyfriend.com, and I want to shout them out because that website focuses on a specific narrative. And that narrative is when mom chooses bad boyfriends. And those boyfriends end up harming the children. That's mom's boyfriend. The children cannot speak for themselves. The children cannot defend themselves against a big grown-ass ex-convict. A big old thug. A big old gangbanger. A big old drug dealer. A big old whatever it is. These babies can't do anything to defend themselves, and they don't have any say-so. That is why it is so important for mothers and parents all over to make sure and prioritize your children first before your own selfish sexual pleasures. You dig? Let's talk about this. Police were called to a home in Escorts, Michigan, which is spelled E-C-O-R-S-E. Escorts, whatever, I don't care how you pronounce it. Early Tuesday, where they found baby Zaire Reed unresponsive. Zion Reed, who was the other twin, was also badly injured, and he is currently in critical condition. And if you guys are familiar with that term, then y'all know that he stands a chance of not making it. But we're going to pray, and we're going to pray hard tonight and today that this baby makes it through, okay? Police say that the boy's mother, let me see if I can find a picture of the mom so y'all can see who I'm talking about. The person who I believe the mom is that lady right there in the middle. That is Lisa Marie Reed, 34 years old, and was taken into custody. And her boyfriend, the guy, that idiot on the right-hand side, is her boyfriend, James Gibson. And he had fled the home, but he was found 12 miles south of Detroit. The live-in boyfriend decided to leave and took the family vehicle and did not return, Inspector Timothy Sasick of Escorts Police said. Now, James Gibson, the boyfriend, was found after a 12-hour manhunt. How about that? This dude was so coward that he beat up twin babies and then ran because he didn't want to. He didn't want to be held responsible for the choices that he made about these babies' lives. He ran like a coward. But after a 12-hour manhunt, he was found at a residence about 25 miles away. And both are expected to be charged with crimes related to this incident. Now, I'm going to warn you guys before y'all hear some of the details that it's going to be a little bit graphic. So if you guys cannot handle that, then I understand. And I respect that if you guys have to dip out on this story. But I am going to try to give you guys as much information as we've been able to find so far, okay? So hopefully everybody understands that. I need to also give a shout out real quick because I did not want to miss that. If my sister Keyshawn Johnson is in the chat listening, I wanted to say thank you. I did get your donation. I saw it go by there just a moment ago. So thank you very much. Also, let me give a shout out to Pamela Trickett in the chat who sent in a $15 super chat. I want to say thank you, Pamela, as well as, wow. Where's Nathia at? Is Nathia in the chat? Tonight is my first time on your channel. Look at that, man. I'm going to tell you guys, if you want a moderator wrench, the quickest way that you can do it is if you guys send anything between 50 and 100. I'll just throw it out there, and that's merely a donation. You don't have to pay for a wrench, but if you donate, I'll bless you in return in that manner. So that's completely up to you guys. But Nathia, if you are there, I need you to type something in the chat and go ahead and give you your moderator wrench, and I thank you so much. Thank you so much. And whoever said that, somebody said that the baby in the picture had a black eye. Did y'all notice that? I'm gonna show y'all a bigger picture of that here in a moment. Because I noticed that too. See if I can back it up. That one and that one. Boy, whoo. Boy, boy, boy. Y'all see that? You can actually see it from both pictures right there. Y'all see those babies' black eyes? How many of y'all noticed that? There you are, Nathia. I got you. Nathia, thank you for being a part of the channel membership. And now you are a moderator. So thank you so much. Both of those babies look like they're beat the hell up. Jaja Rose, thank you again, sweetheart. Showing some love. Shout out to Jaja Rose. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And TT, again, like if you want to be a moderator, like I say, if you can find it in your budget, cool. If not, then like I say, you know, just be patient. We'll get you in there. But thank you guys so much for supporting. Let's talk a little bit more about this. The horrific child abuse has shaken local authorities, with Inspector Sasick describing it as the worst I've ever seen in 30 years of law enforcement. Most people with an injured baby take them to the hospital. Police say that the surviving child had surgery to repair broken bones and other injuries at Children's Hospital of Michigan. These are small babies. And this man hit these kids so hard that they have broken bones. Y'all catch that? Broken bones. An autopsy is pending for the deceased child, who was pronounced dead at Henry Ford Hospital in, oh God, I can't pronounce that. Wyandotte, Wyandotte. Wyandotte, I know I'm probably not pronouncing it right, so let's just skip that. And by the way, this is in Michigan, Set Zebra. This is in Michigan. Tanea said, who saw something and didn't say anything? I believe that's probably why the mom got arrested, which is that lady right there. I believe that's why she's caught up in this, and maybe she participated in some of this abuse, because there could be more charges in this case, but I'm not exactly sure, but we'll specify here in a little bit. Now, police say that for the past 3 months, the twins lived with their mother and the boyfriend Gibson at the apartment, and said that the bedding that the babies slept on for the children was bloody, and the house was an absolute mess. They were sleeping on bloody bedding. So how long was this beating and abuse actually going on? And if you guys paid attention to a video that I did a long time ago, you can always tell abuse when you look at, as you can see, the baby has black eyes. I think you could also look at the back of their neck, their ears. There are other places on a child's body that you can look and tell if there has been abuse to those children, which in this case, it was pretty easy to tell. Now, police say that Gibson was out on parole for another child abuse case in Traverse City in northern Michigan. I'm going to read that again. The police, hashtag, not my words, the police say that the boyfriend, Gibson, was out on parole for another child abuse case in Traverse City in northern Michigan. Hashtag, please do a background check. James Gibson is out on parole. So what that means is that there is a charge that was put on this man that he either agreed to or was convicted of, and he had to be released from prison. And the mother, Lisa Marie Reed, dealt with this man anyway. Matter of fact, I have a question. If those kids are his kids, because they refer to him as her boyfriend. Uh-oh, are we about to get serious here for a moment? Y'all might want to strap yourselves in. I told y'all these stories were going to be really, really crazy. Please let me know if y'all are processing all of this in your heads. Let's talk about this for a moment. The boyfriend is out on parole. She has 2 twin babies that are very small. They refer to him as the boyfriend, and they don't mention him being the biological father. So what does that actually mean? Does anybody in the chat want to say it? I'm waiting. I'll give you guys a moment. Y'all see why I asked y'all to do a background check? I want y'all to imagine. I'm not so sure. Let me see. They don't say anywhere in this report or any video or any news station that I've seen, nobody refers to him as the biological father of these kids. So what am I saying? Look at this family photo. Look at how tiny those babies are. They don't even look like they're a year old. That means this mother's womb has barely had time to heal before she allowed a new man to come in and come in. We use that two ways. To come into her house and then to come into her physical being, her house, her body, her temple. That is some selfish, nasty shit. Also, one would also have to wonder, if he's not the biological father, then is that what prompted him to beat these kids? And I want y'all to also understand something else that you may or may not have realized. All of the tattoos that dude has on his face and on the top of his head, and he looks to be a part of a certain persuasion that may or may not be a racist. I don't know that to be a fact, but all I'm saying is that it looks a bit weird. Let me show you guys something, if you don't mind. I'm going to zoom in on a picture. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to make this really big so y'all can get the picture. Do y'all notice that this dude does not have any eyebrows, and it looks like he has tattoos for eyebrows? I'm sorry, but in my opinion, if you don't have eyebrows, you should not be around kids. And matter of fact, it makes me wonder if that was a condition of his parole. I think somebody in the chat said it earlier. Let's talk about that for a moment. If he's on parole for abusing children, which is on his record, which could have easily have been found with a fucking background check, then why is it that this mother would allow a felon, a parolee, to be around her kids, knowing that he was on parole for abusing kids? Tattoo eyebrow. Matter of fact, let me show you guys another picture. A little more of a crazy picture, because maybe y'all didn't see it on the screen a minute ago. Want y'all to look at this. I'm going to try to make it as big as I possibly can. It's only so big I can make this. Do y'all notice the tattoo on the top of his head? It looks like a butt cheek in the middle of his head. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Can y'all see that? I'm going to try my best to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to crop the kids out just for a moment so y'all can see this. I can't really make it much bigger than that. Why isn't he in a halfway house watching his every moment? Thank you, MMO Family Girl. I agree with you. He is a danger to society, a danger to the public, and he's just as bad as a pedophile. I don't understand how they didn't have any checks and balances in place. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that pretty clear? I don't know how clear that is. I can't really do much about it. Can y'all see it now? It looks like a set of testicles tattooed on the top of his head. I don't know if this man was somebody's girlfriend in jail or not, but it doesn't matter to me. He shouldn't have been around kids. Let's move on with this story. Gibson was out on parole for another child abuse case. Mom. He was released on May the 8th. May the 8th. Can somebody please take a mental note of that? The boy's grandmother, who y'all saw in the picture, her name is Susan Williams Bowell, B-A-W-E-L-L, W-O-L. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. But she started a donation page to raise funds for Zair's funeral, which is really sad that she has to do that. His life was taken at the hands of a monster, which is what Grandma said. And I think, matter of fact, I don't know if y'all can see it. I'll tell y'all more, but that's Grandma right there. I don't even know what to say here. I am just so lost and hurt. The boy's uncle by the name of Ricky Tanner told the news he was expected to live, but was struggling. Gibson and Reed were expected to be arraigned Wednesday on a first-degree child abuse and first-degree murder charges. And I'm going to show you guys that picture of the baby with the black eye. And hopefully y'all don't mind. I'm going to show y'all this. If y'all didn't see it before, let me know if you guys can see. Especially the baby on the left. Notice the black eyes on this kid. Especially the one on the left. Let me go ahead and take this picture down. But here's what I want to ask. I want to ask a question. It seems like these twin babies were loved more by the grandmother than this kid's own mother. And I don't even know where the biological father is. Maybe he is the biological father, but I doubt it if he just got out in May. And these kids look like they're about 1 year old, but I don't know. But nonetheless, it seems like these kids would have been taken care of much better if they would have been in grandma's custody. But guess what? That's not grandma's job. Grandma's job is a supporting job. That should not have been her main job, to care for these kids. The responsibility of those kids is supposed to fall on mom and dad. Then grandma and grandpa and other family members are supposed to be able to come in and help when they are able to and when they want to. All right. But nonetheless, let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage and let you guys listen to the news stories. See if I can find the fair use. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And again, as a reminder, if you guys are watching, please click that thumbs up. We have a goal of 350 thumbs up. So if you guys will please click that thumbs up, that would help us out a lot. Thank you. Let's go ahead and go.
Twins. An Ecorse mother and her boyfriend are behind bars after the brutal beating of a pair of 1-year-old twins.
One of the boys has died and the other is in the hospital with serious injuries. Fox 2's Robin Murdoch is live with more. Robin?
Good morning, Amy and Jay. Now, one of the investigators who is involved in this case describes it as the worst case of child abuse that he has ever seen, and he has been in the business for more than 3 decades, so he has certainly seen a lot. This mother, as well as her boyfriend, they could face child abuse charges a little bit later on today after, as you mentioned, her twins were severely beaten, one of them so badly he died from his injuries. Now, police were called to the Renaissance Estates in Ecorse right around 4 o'clock yesterday morning. That is where they learned about the situation, and that is where they found the twins. Zaire passed away from multiple injuries to his tiny body yesterday. Again, he was just 1 year old. His brother Zion has since had emergency surgery to repair a broken femur and other broken bones at Children's Hospital, and that is where he remains this morning. Now, police took his mother into custody, or their mother into custody, relatively quickly. Her boyfriend was found hiding out at an uncle's house hours later. Now, we caught up with the twins' uncle. Take a listen to what he has to say about this heartbreaking situation.
To realize what had happened in that home to those boys, it angered me and also brought me to a level that I never thought I would understand. I want him to know what he did to this family. I want him to know the suffering.
Now, the couple is expected to be arraigned on multiple charges, including child abuse as well as murder charges. And again, that could come as soon as today. We're waiting to get official word from the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Now, police are also telling us that the boyfriend was recently released on parole for child abuse. We are live at eCourse this morning. Robin Murdoch, Fox 2 News.
All right, and just as a correction, I had a picture up here that didn't actually go with that story. Let me show this picture, as I kept wondering which picture it was that I showed that was incorrect. Let me remind you guys that I want to say thank you real quick to SJ's Beam in the chat, who was correct. This particular picture is Leela and Camden Leela went missing in Florida. So this is not the correct photo, but it was on that site. I don't know why, but that was the wrong photo. But the rest of the photos were correct. So I did want to correct that while we were live. Okay, so thank you for that. All right, let's keep going.
One child is dead, another badly hurt from what their grandmother believes was a beating by their mother's boyfriend. Topping our news tonight at 6, the victims are twin brothers, just 13 months old.
One of them has undergone surgery to try to save his life. Let's get back to Jason Colthorpe for the very latest, including a second arrest in this case. Jason.
Yes, Kimberly, we've just learned from multiple sources the boyfriend of that mother of these twins was arrested in Sumter Township. We'll have more on that in a moment. Again, the mother has also been arrested. She's in custody. And as we go through this case, there are going to be many questions. One of them being, was this preventable? A neighbor who alerted authorities almost 2 weeks ago says it most certainly was.
And I said to my husband, one of those babies are going to end up dead.
Those ominous words from a concerned neighbor and Facebook friend of the Reed family. She saw these photos of the twins, Zion and Zaire Reed, and noticed visible trauma.
The baby had blood in its eyes and 2 black eyes.
Following her instincts, she called Wayne County Child Protective Services on July 16th. She says she left a message and lots of details and never got a call back. 12 days later, Zaire is dead and Zion is in surgery.
He's got a broken nose, he's got a broken femur. They're operating on his femur right now. He might have blood in his brain. And he's got broken ribs and liver damage.
The boy's grandmother believes it was her daughter's boyfriend behind the abuse.
When you looked at the guy, you could just see evil. It was evil.
More ominous words there at the end. Again, we did reach out to CPS representatives, but weren't able to get anyone before the close of business today for a comment on that story. We should also point out we've learned that this mother has 2 other children, both of whom were removed from her custody, according to her mother.
Wow, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? And thank you, Miss Sunshine. Miss Sunshine said thank you for the correction. I got to thank SJ's Meme, and that's why we have a live chat. And guys, we never take offense if people say that we got something wrong. We check it out, and I did have up a wrong picture, so I appreciate that for sure. And Miss Sunshine said, thank you for the correction. They found the body in West Palm Beach on 7/28/20, and the police have not said it was Layla yet. So, wow. Y'all notice how many stories it is? Like, I haven't even talked about that one. There are so many stories we can't even keep up. And Addie just confirmed for me that this dude, this thug, this boyfriend that just got out of jail is not, I repeat, is not the biological father of these 2 twin boys. I'm sorry if anybody wants to get upset at me for saying this, but I'm sure Grandma wouldn't mind me saying this because Grandma understands. Grandma's pissed off like I am. That mother is disgusting. She is nasty. That's trifling. And no good mother, no good parent would ever turn around and have newborn twin babies like this around not only a brand new man, but a dude who's on goddamn parole for child abuse. Like I'm sorry, but you can't be that desperate for penis. There is no penis on earth that's worth that. There's no man that's worth that. There's no man that's worth your children's lives. Ain't none of these dudes that damn good. Nobody. That's, man, let's keep going before I get flagged tonight.
One lives with the grandmother, and one lives with the father. And going back to the arrest, we said we've learned the boyfriend was caught in Sumter Township. That's near Belleville. We're expecting an update from police here in about an hour. We'll have more on the boyfriend and more on how these two boys were, just the lives they lived, and just as it was described by family members to us. All of that tonight at 11. Reporting live in E-Course, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Just awful. Okay, Jason, thank you.
All right, Rod, we now need to get to breaking news from E-Course, where sources say one-year-old twins have been severely beaten, and one of them has died. The other is in the hospital.
Right now, there's a lot we don't know about what happened, but we do know there is an active investigation.
Let's head to...
I do need to reiterate what Frederica Logan said in the chat. He wasn't supposed to be around those kids. I can guarantee you guys. I can guarantee you this. And guess, Ruya, I can see you, sweetheart. I can see you, Ruya. I can see your comment. So, yes, I can see you. It was an absolute condition of his parole that he could not be around kids. Because how can they have him on parole if he abused the child and then approve him to be around children? That doesn't even make any good goddamn sense. So if that was the case, and mom should have done her due diligence to know that this dude just got out of jail, or maybe she knew that he was a damn inmate with tattoos in the middle of his head and tattooed his eyebrows. I'm sorry, but if anybody has a tattoo on their head and on their neck and on their eyebrows and have tattooed tears, if they have face tattoos, that's an automatic red flag that you need to do a background check. I don't give a shit if it costs you money or if it don't. Because in this case, it cost her baby's lives. You cannot put a price tag on your children's lives. But a lot of us do. That's why we have the hashtag that the AFC owns, hashtag babies for benefits. You dig? Let's keep going. We're almost at 350 thumbs up. We need about 22 more people to click that thumbs up.
Jason Colthorpe, who is live in E-Course with more. Jason, this sounds absolutely dreadful.
Devin, we have learned a lot within the last hour, and here's the situation. We have 13-month-old twin boys who have suffered abuse, allegedly, according to family members, at the hands of their mother's boyfriend. Zaire Reed died today at Children's Hospital from his injuries. His brother Zion Reed has undergone surgery for some serious injuries that you're going to hear more about in just a moment. The family has told us the mother is now in jail and police are looking for her boyfriend.
They were 13 months old to the day.
Sue Williams-Baywall had suspected her twin grandsons were being abused. These photos of Zion and Zaire were earlier this month. Both boys have signs of possible trauma on their faces.
Lisa was sleeping. He was carrying both babies, and supposedly tripped over something and fell, and both babies landed on her face.
That's what he said happened.
That's what he said would happen. And then this morning, he supposedly said that he gave the baby Zaire a bottle, and he left the room and went back in. He was choking.
But then Baywall, who is already a legal guardian for one of her daughter's children, learned of new injuries that left Zaire dead and Zion in surgery, their mother in jail, and her boyfriend on the run.
He's got a broken nose, he's got a broken femur. They're operating on his femur right now. He might have blood in his brain. And he's got broken ribs and liver damage. That's what they just told me. I just learned about that when they were just here.
Now, I can tell you Child Protective Services has been out today at the boy's grandmother's house. That's who you just heard from in that story. Because the grandmother tells me that she may be in danger of losing that other child she's caring for, her grandchild, who's 10 years old. But this is not the first time Child Protective Services has been called. Coming up at 6, you'll hear from a neighbor who says she noticed those injuries in those photos in a Facebook post and notified Wayne County CPS on July 16th. And nothing was done.
Okay, so that was only about 16 days ago. So somebody saw those same pictures. Let me pull it back up. Somebody saw these pictures on Facebook with the kids with black eyes, and they called CPS, which they saw something and they said something. Hashtag see something, say something. So thank you to the person who was on Facebook that saw that and reported it. I've told you guys, if you do that and the CPS still fails them, if the system still fails, that's all you can do. And please, I don't want you guys to lose sleep at night over that. If you've done all you can do legally, then you have to live with that. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the parents. Now, I got a couple more videos to show you guys real quick. We're almost at our goal. We got 342 thumbs up. We only need 8 more people to just click that thumbs up. Look down and click that thumbs up. Thank you to everybody that's already done so. Let's keep this thing going.
At least according to her. We'll hear more about that coming up at 6. For now, we're live in Ecorse. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Just heartbreaking. All right, Jason, we will see you again at 6 o'clock.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Khy'undra. We do start with breaking developments in the severe beating of 1-year-old twins in the Ecorse. One little boy died, the other is still in the hospital. This afternoon, their mother is facing charges. Local 4's Jason Colthorpe tracking the very latest. Jason, what are the charges?
Right now, Karen, it's just one charge. It's first-degree child abuse for the twin boys' mother. 34-year-old Lisa Reed was arraigned today in court on those charges. This all happened Tuesday morning when police got the call and they responded to Reed's apartment in Ecorse. They found her son Zaire in great distress, had extensive injuries. He was rushed to Wyandotte Hospital, then immediately transferred to Children's Hospital where he died. Now, what happened next is incredible because officers were at the home still investigating. They noticed his twin brother Zion also in distress. They took him to the hospital, found that he also had extensive injuries. Tuesday night he went through surgery for broken clavicles, both sides. Both clavicles were broken. He had a broken left femur and is now trying to recover. And as we learn about this case, any doctor will tell you a broken leg on a baby is quite incredible because babies' bones are quite flexible and it takes an awful lot for them to break one of their bones. Now, this case has a long way to go, as we say, because there could be many more charges. Right now, it's just child abuse against the mother for Zion. There was also a live-in boyfriend at this residence. Family members told us they suspected him of abuse, and investigators said today there was signs of long-term abuse on both of these boys. We're going to be waiting for what happens there. The prosecutor right now declining to charge that live-in boyfriend, but we're waiting to see what happens. Now, coming up at 5 o'clock, you'll hear from the inspector on this case.
And just to let y'all know, they did charge him.
And exactly
they got a lot to charge that dude with.
Why he calls it the worst case he's seen in his 32 years on the job.
And thank you, Dre the Dream. My brother said it's hard to break a clavicle. Right up in here, in your shoulder area. It is very, very hard.
Karen, back to you.
Heartbreaking. All right. Thank you, Jason. We'll check back with you at 5.
We got 2 more videos, real quick.
But we'll begin with breaking news, and that is our first look at the Ecorse mother, now charged in the beating of her 1-year-old twin sons.
Lisa Marie Reed faces 1 charge of first-degree child abuse.
Start things off here at 5 with Jason Colthorpe. But Jason, important to note, this charge is just connected to the twin who survived.
Exactly, Devin. The investigation into the death of Zaire Reed is ongoing. Today, we learned the horrifying details of the injuries that his twin brother Zion suffered, and injuries, of course, that required surgery for him to recover. And we're not talking about one-time injuries here. Investigators are now classifying this as long-term abuse. 34-year-old Lisa Reed charged today with first-degree child abuse of her 13-month-old son, Zion Reed. His injuries were discovered by police after his twin brother Zaire was taken to the hospital where he died.
They did both observe multiple injuries on Zion Reed's left eye and had a severe blood vessel burst. Both ears were severely swollen and dry blood covered them. His lower lip was cut open and his left cheek was severely swollen and was deeply bruised.
Zion was then rushed to the hospital.
Zion Reed's trauma to his head and ears were very apparent. Also, Zion Reed had black and white scarf wrapped around its hip. When the nurses removed it, Zion Reed began to scream. Dr. Solomon then showed the x-ray, which revealed Zion Reed's left femur was broken.
In addition to his left thigh bone being broken, both clavicles were broken, and Zion's ears were injured so badly, investigators concluded he'd been picked up by his ears.
That broken femur and two broken clavicles, I hate to say it, I think she should be remanded.
How do you pick a baby up by the ears? Are y'all hearing this? I'm gonna let y'all hear it again. Maybe some of y'all didn't hear it. I'm gonna back that up. I'm gonna let y'all hear this again. Picked a baby up by the ears? Are you kidding, man? How many of y'all wanna take this dude and this mom and just do some awful crap to them? That's horrible.
Zion Reed's left femur was broken.
In addition to his left thigh bone being broken, both clavicles were broken, and Zion's ears were injured so badly, investigators concluded he'd been picked up by his ears.
That broken femur and two broken clavicles, I hate to say it, I think she should be remanded.
And Reed was remanded, by the way, and I just want to point out, police stressed this, that to break a baby's leg is impressive in the fact that it takes a great amount of force because babies' bones are so flexible. But this investigation, as we mentioned, is not over. The police are expecting a first-degree murder charge eventually in the death of Zaire, either against Reed or her live-in boyfriend, or both. Remember, the live-in boyfriend is the one who fled from the hospital the day all this happened and was arrested about 10 hours later at an uncle's residence. Of course, we'll be following it all. Reporting live, Jason Coulthard, Local 4.
All right, Jason.
All right, guys, this is the last video. We still got a few people in here. Let's try to go for 375 thumbs up. We only need 20 people to do it, and then we'll wrap up. And I thank you guys for being so patient, for listening to these stories and being with us here. I know it's hard for some of y'all to listen to this stuff, but there is nothing more difficult than what these babies actually have to live through. We're just hearing the story. That's it. Hashtag babies lives matter. And actually, I have a t-shirt design that has that on there. And that link is in the description box as well. And it says babies lives matter. So we do have that t-shirt also. It's ready to go. Let's listen to this last story and then we'll wrap up.
Tim, a mother and her boyfriend are behind bars tonight, soon to be facing charges in the death of her 13-month-old son and the injuries to his twin brother.
An ambulance was called early this morning to the family's home in Ecorse. One boy died at the hospital and the other is still battling terrible injuries. Jason Coulthard is live in Ecorse tonight. Jason, police spent all day tracking down the boyfriend. Where was he arrested?
He was arrested in Sumter Township, Kim. It came after a long search. It was around dinner time. He was at an uncle's house after they'd followed up several leads. He took off first thing in the morning from the hospital. Tonight, he and his girlfriend, the boy's mother, are here in jail in Ecorse. Her son, at last check, undergoing a late night surgery to repair a broken left femur and other broken bones.
I've been a policeman for 32 years. I've never seen police like this before.
The worst Inspector Timothy Sasek has seen, because when police responded to the Renaissance Estates in Ecorse around 5 a.m., they found a baby on the hood of a car with unspeakable injuries.
Injuries that are compounded by, a little bit of healing and then aggressive again. I could go into some detail about what the doctor said, but actually, it'll make you sick.
Not long after 13-month-old Zaire Reed was at the hospital, police realized his twin brother Zion, back at the home, was also badly injured, and his mother hadn't said a word.
One of our evidence techs that was called to the scene where they were preserving it asked to speak to me and says the twin brother is now at the hospital as well.
Police believe those injuries were caused by the live-in boyfriend of the boy's mother, a parolee they say was let out of prison because of coronavirus concerns.
Beautiful babies.
The twins' grandmother, who
I know the algorithm ain't gonna like me saying this, but maybe they might need to rethink keeping some of these people in jail over coronavirus, aka COVID-19. Now a baby is dead. So just, man, let me just play this video. Good Lord.
Suspected abuse can't talk about the boys without getting emotional.
He supposedly said that he gave the baby Zaire a bottle, and he left the room, went back in, he was choking. That's when they called the ambulance. But he wasn't choking on that bottle. I don't care what he says. That baby he did something to that baby.
A closer look at these photos posted to Facebook a couple of weeks ago show the boys with obvious trauma to their faces.
And I said to my husband, one of those babies are going to end up dead.
This concerned friend of the family noticed and contacted Child Protective Services 12 days ago, but says she never got a response.
A baby can't speak for itself. And
a baby can't speak for itself. That's right. And a baby can't defend himself. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did wonder how grandma was able to be around these kids, see these kids, take a picture with these kids, but didn't notice all of that bruising, especially around the baby on the left's face. And then you look at the toddler on the right, you look at his eyes. How do you miss that? I'm not trying to be an asshole, but how do you miss that? How does grandma miss that? Can somebody please explain? Because Sheila Kennard in the chat said grandma knew, and it makes me wonder. How did she miss this? Let's wrap up.
For a mom to be I'm sorry, but for a mother to be in a house and allow that, no. She had to know what was going on. She had to.
So many questions. We're looking for those two to be arraigned sometime tomorrow afternoon. The charge is first-degree child abuse, first-degree murder. More on the boyfriend now. You heard us talk about how police say he was released early because of coronavirus concerns. They also say he committed a violation that normally would have sent him back to prison, but again was kept out because of corona. And if you're wondering what he was paroled for, child abuse.
And look, I'm going to tell you guys something. Even though that reporter can't say it, look at his face, and I'm telling you guys, he is absolutely pissed about that. He's like, this is some bullshit. That's what he wants to say. He violated his original parole, and he got paroled, got out of jail, and was around kids, and went right back to jail for doing the exact same damn thing. No rehab. He didn't have to prove that he was a better person. They just let him out. And he unleashed on this woman's kids. And the woman allowed it to happen because she wanted her some thug dick. Hashtag, when you date thugs, you date death. That's an AFC hashtag. We created it for a reason. I got ridiculed for it when I first created it, and people thought I was crazy for saying that. Well, now I'm right, because I come from that environment and I know what that shit is like. That shit is nothing but death and destruction. Even my big homies will come on here and they'll tell you, ain't nothing cool about none of that shit. That shit ain't do nothing but cause them to lose a lot of years to their life, have them constantly looking over their shoulders, and made it a hell of a lot harder for them to try to get a start and make a family in life. That's real talk. That thugging is for the damn birds.
For an e-course tonight, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Just awful, Jason. And I understand that this isn't the first time the mother's parenting has been called into question either.
So the mom has gotten, let's listen to this.
No, it's not. There should have been so many warnings, red flags. She has 4 children. The grandmother who you saw in that story has legal guardianship of her 2 oldest. One's 10, one's 15. The 15-year-old now lives in Kansas with a father, but she cares for the 10-year-old. So she's already lost 2 children, and now another one because of child abuse, and another one fighting for his life.
Oh my God. So she lost custody of her oldest two kids. And guess what? Can we get a hashtag TTOTTT? And I'm going to explain to you guys why the people in the chat post that. TTO and TTT mean this very simply. Take the testicles and take the ovaries. These type of human beings do not deserve their reproductive organs at all. They need to be severed from their bodies, tossed in some lava, and gotten rid of permanently. There is absolutely no reason that a mother who has lost custody of her kids should be given an opportunity to just make more of them. Am I talking common sense or am I talking some bullshit right now? Let me go ahead and close this out. That's sick. And I know they can't believe it either. Let's close this out. So this mother had all these kids, lost custody of her two oldest kids, and she's like, you know what? Screw those kids. I'll just make some more. And not only did she make some more, she did not stay with the man who she made those babies right there by. And this dude gets to get out of jail and play daddy to these kids, when I can guarantee you that this mom probably didn't even let the biological father see those kids like he wanted to. And it's sad that everybody else can have access to these kids except the biological father, because the mother has this right that they call she's the parent, and she can do what they, her kids, her choice, and she can do whatever it is that she want to do, which is absolutely insane. It's ridiculous and it's irresponsible. Hopefully everybody understands where I'm coming from. Let me add these pictures back on there. There we go. Now, another part, again, to announce and remind you guys why I say TTO and TTT. Take the testicles and take the ovaries, and they need to take theirs. They do not deserve to have them. They should not be parents. They should not be allowed to procreate. They need to be castrated and sterilized. Thank you. Why continue to allow the children in this world, in our country, in our states, and some of us in our neighborhoods and cities? Why allow these children to continue to be abused when we can stop this shit? If we're going to have a license to drive, if we're going to have a license to do business and grow food and all of this other stuff, why can't you have a license to have a kid? I mean, it seems like that's kind of an important thing in life to do, right? You should be able to be allowed to do that type of thing responsibly, right? I think that you should have to qualify to be a parent. That shouldn't be just something you could just do just because you like sex, and just because this horrible mother felt like she needed some from a thug in jail who abused babies before, and now he came home and abused these kids because they didn't want him to catch coronavirus. What would we do if this prisoner caught coronavirus? We need to let him out so he could go kill a kid. I'm sure that made sense to the people that let that man out of jail. How much damn sense does that make? You don't want him to catch COVID, but you don't care that he's around kids when he was just in jail over abusing kids. But you know what? In this little town, what's the name of this little town? Escorce, Michigan. Apparently it's okay to let people out of jail and let them wreak havoc on the world just because you're scared of them getting coronavirus. Apparently it's okay to let your kids around a damn murderer and an abuser. What are we doing, man? What are we doing in our society? Why did these kids deserve that? And it's not like they didn't have warning signs. It's not like they didn't know. Everybody around these kids knew, and they just simply did not care. I hate saying that, but I really wish that if somebody saw something and said something, like the people saw the picture on Facebook and they reported it and nothing else was done. These kids died for no, I say kids, One of these kids died for no reason, and the other one is in critical condition. All we can do is hope and pray that that baby makes it. But that baby was severely abused, and I don't want to repeat the things that they said were done to these kids. Their bodies suffered, and they didn't deserve it. And it's sad that their own damn mama didn't give a shit. She's proven that she's a terrible parent to her older two kids, and she just got to just willy-nilly make some more. We got to start being tougher on people who abuse children and the people that present a danger to our children. We have to start taking it seriously. And in Escorze, Michigan, they did not take this criminal that has abused children seriously at all. Now, I hope you make an example out of his ass, and I hope that he never gets out of prison ever again. And I hope that you throw a book at him and some in this life and in his next life. I hope he gets another sentence for the same damn thing that he did. To Grandma, I know Grandma probably loved them kids. I know she did. But there's no way that Grandma was able to take the picture with these kids and we all noticed the black eyes and Grandma didn't notice nothing. There's no way. I just don't believe that. And I believe that if she saw something and didn't say anything, then these kids had to suffer. They didn't have an advocate. I'm honored that we as the AFC are in a position to be able to be advocates for children first and give these babies a voice. That's why we're so harsh. That's why we speak so directly. And I don't like the fact that people act like they don't get where we're coming from. I don't like that. We stand for the children first. Thank you, Kingdom Minded. Kingdom Minded said it's pronounced E-Course. So E-Course, Michigan failed these kids. And it's not right. And those babies are beautiful babies, and they deserved a fair chance. And as y'all can see in these babies' faces, they did not stand a chance around a thug. To the baby, to the twin that passed away, young King, may you rest in peace. To the other baby, guys, put a prayer hands up in the chat and in the comment section. And let's pray that that baby survives and this baby thrives and this baby gets a suitable parent so that baby can grow up and become something great, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening to this story. I'm your boy DJ Just J. We're the AFC, where we advocate for children first. This is not a me thing. This is a we thing. This is an us thing. We're a family thing. And let's continue to advocate for these babies, okay? Don't get mad at what I say. Get mad at what they do. All right? From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to this stream. And that'll wrap us up, and we'll see y'all. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that thumbs up. Share the memory of these babies. Let's stop this together, okay? Peace.